overview. So, do you have any questions about playtime, structure, mentality, anything along those lines through either on your forum or just that have come up in the last few days?
Not really, no.
Okay, makes sense. So you just want to look at some gameplay then.
Yep.
All right, let's take a look then. Is this Winston or Zarya?
Winston.
Right. Okay.
You can skip the first point defense. I was on Sigma.
Got it. You're brave playing Winston in this economy. My favorite tank, so I respect it. So, Winston, what is Winston strong at? What are your priorities with Winston to your current understanding?
Just either, baiting resources, keeping the supports occupied, and making a lot of space.
Exactly.
So,
okay.
Giving my DPS, yeah.
Is there anything that you recently been working on with your Winston?
Definitely my engages. Sometimes I feel like unless I'm like hard diving, I'm not playing him right. I know I'm not supposed to be diving all the time, so sometimes I get too greedy or just make really dumb engages. So
Okay, makes sense. Now, when you said in your form, what do you feel is holding you back from improving? You said understanding and mechanics properly. Now, first off, what understanding do you feel like you're lacking here? Just in general.
What I should be doing, I guess, the targets I'm supposed to be going on. When should I switch my targets? When to disengage, I guess. Sometimes I was a little confused here on attack second point. So yeah.
Okay, makes sense. And then also, so target priority, knowing when to engage, who to engage on, when I shouldn't be dying. And you also said mechanics, right? So what do you mean by mechanics? Talking about like primals? You're talking about your right clicks, just your tracking? What in particular?
My primals need a lot of work, but that's something. There's like workshops for it, I guess.
Yep.
And I guess like the whole Winston combo I've heard of, like the secondary jump melee thing or something. I'm not sure.
Let's actually just go over that super fast because I think that's pretty important. So there's a couple things you need to know. First off is that you obviously know that there's a delay between your secondary fire and being able to zap again, right?
Yeah.
So it's very important that you utilize your secondary fire when you're at range, or if you're looking for a combo, that you're using your secondary fire on a jump far enough to where you can actually, and you see how I kind of land and I get the zaps at the same time, right?
Yeah.
You never ever want to do a secondary fire combo because it's gonna, like when you're like landing here, oh no, because you see that delay of me zapping there, that's free damage that I was missing out on. The standard, quote unquote, standard Winston combo is to jump, zap, melee cancel, and to zaps again. And the reason why that's useful is for two reasons. One, it provides a slight burst of damage. The reason why that's not super always useful, because you do have to stop shooting to melee, right? You see that slight pause there?
Yeah.
The other reason why it's not always super useful, or the other reason why it's used, and really the primary value, no pun intended, is the ammo that you conserve. Because if I jump in and I utilize my melee, yes, my damage is about the same, but I save about 9-10 ammo, essentially. So I can zap for just a little bit longer. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So I do think it's worth learning this combo, the melee cancel, but it's not always applicable. The other downside of this combo is that obviously the melee has AoE potential if people are tightly grouped. But if there's a bunch of targets that I'm jumping, I'm not going to melee cancel because I want to make sure I get full AoE zaps for every 0.1 second that I possibly can. Make sense?
Yep.
But the main one that you need to know is the big thing is that melee cancel on your landing, zaps on your landing, and really with Winston, it's about landing directly on their body. Like I cannot understate the importance of that because you lose so much damage. Like if I'm just jumping here and I land here, that's pretty good, right? It's only like 30 damage, right? But if I'm able to land directly, like actually directly on, bam, right? Like, I mean, that's so much more. That's 50 damage. That's 20 free damage right there. And you all know how important that is on a 200 HP target, right? So just be aware of that. And then the other thing is, like, you want to be utilizing right clicks a lot on squishies when you're not losing a lot of HP. Like, if this is a Bastion, I'm not peeking with right click, right? But if it's even a Hanzo, right? Like, I might be scared to peek with right click, right? Because he's going to be chunking my HP really hard. But if it's like a soldier, you know, okay, yeah, he could chip a little bit of my HP, right? He'll do more than 50 damage to me, let's be honest. But 50 of his HP matters a lot more to him than 50 of my HP.
Yeah.
Right? So if I could right click here, I might be able to force heal station. Now, once he starts getting healed, then maybe I'm like, all right. But the big thing is then you utilize this and you're able to get your jumps in. Now, I'm terrible with Winston mechanics when it comes to comboing those things. So you don't look to me for a good example. But you really want to be able to charge your right click, jump, and then be able to get the landing damage at the same time. Now, you notice that where I jumped was too far away. So what I would like to do would be able to utilize... let me actually kill him off first. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to charge. You notice that was too close. Notice that delay. I couldn't get the primary fire in, so that's not going to work. Let's try that again. Charge the right click. Again, too close. So really, a lot of the time, the right click can kind of be used on your exit more so than anything else. So like when I'm about to take off, that's kind of what you're doing. You see that? Okay. That's kind of the optimal combo. There will be times, like if you could time it perfectly on your launch, you can do it, but that's kind of what you're looking for. That's the optimal Winston combo. Charge your right click, zap, right there. You see that?
Yep.
That's your optimal combo. Make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, you're going to be utilizing that anytime you jump a target whenever you can. 50 damage, jump, zap, melee, zap again. Where are we at? We were on Paradiso. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions before we jump into this?
Nope, not really.
Okay, let's take a look here. So for you, it might be a little bit of teaching you what to do, but also it might be like pointing out what you already know, but what you should be doing better with what you know.
Yeah.
Right. So I appreciate this because she is a little bit overextended, and your matchup versus Junker Queen isn't terrible. But I think there's a higher chance here of getting this Junker Queen kill and getting a squishy kill is if you take the position that you had and drop on the other side and drop on the Mercy Sojourn, Hanzo, Moira. Because
on
if
Hanzo as well?
Everything, drop it, murder it. Because there's a chance here that you get a Mercy kill. Not a very high chance, but there's a chance, right? But the more important thing is what happens when you drop on this crew with your bubble.
Queen's isolated.
Queen's isolated. More isolated than what you do with bubble.
Yeah.
Because I know what you're doing. You're like, oh, I'm going to cut off the healing. You know what else cuts off the healing? Going for the healers. Yep. Right? And the other problem as well is that you don't always see your threats here when you go for this. You might get shot in the back. This is not something you want to be dealing with. You want to be dealing with the squishies directly. And then because you still have your jump, you bubble, you zap, your bubble starts to break, you cut out this way, and then you disengage. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, I got Junker Queen out, right? But there was at no point a threat to anybody. And so now when you want to go for the squishies, the problem is that there's an actual threat of you dying here. Now, this guy's low, and you're about to get a fat landing damage on him, so I actually think he's going to die. Right? So that was a nice jump, but would have preferred you to be on squishies sooner rather than later. Now, I want you to coach yourself here. I want you to tell me how you should approach this engagement, because you know you should jump the Sojourn. But when? And then how should you, and then when should you use your, and how should you use your right click?
Because
you know answer the first question first, because you almost answered it, right?
yeah. When I have my bubble.
When you have your bubble. Yeah. That's it. Obvious answer, right?
Yep.
But the question is when should you right click her?
As I'm leaving, as I'm jumping.
Should you right click her right now?
I know. While I'm getting my bubble.
Right. Well, but see, that's actually incorrect.
Oh,
Let me tell you why. Because you're like, well, I'm very confused. You told me that like I could 50 damage, chip damage that matters more than their 50 HP, all that nonsense, right? But what's the difference between your HP and her HP right now with where your supports are?
She's being pocketed. I have no supports.
Yes, that's it exactly. So do you really want to lose HP to poke? No. Right. So here's what you should do. Don't peek at all. 3, 2, 1 on your bubble. With 1 on your bubble, start charging a right click. Charge the right click. 3. Well, not even 3, 2, 1. Charge your right click and go. And maybe even go for the mercy. But either way, you go. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. See, this is wrong.
Yeah, now, you might the second I jump. Yeah.
Yeah, because this is wrong. Because like right here, this Sojourn is going to ruin you.
Yeah. Good.
Bubble. Good. Good. The right click, terrible. Sojourn was bad, so you got away with it. But they won't always be bad. 50% of the time, they'll chunk your HP, and then you're going to die for doing this. But this is a great jump. Now, maybe some of the micro here could be better. For example, you right click, zap, but you didn't quite land on her, right? Yeah, so you only got a tiny bit of landing damage. Would have preferred a W jump here. You know the difference between the W jump and the S jump, right? Yep. So you needed to go a little bit further with that. Bubble, great. Force the Mercy GA, force the fade. Jogger Queen is looking at you. Sojourn is looking at you. This is silly. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
You don't have HP. You don't have bubble. What's the difference between this and the Hanzo jump earlier? That was good. Because the Hanzo jump was good, and you got a kill.
Yeah, he was isolated. He had no supports.
And he was 2/3 HP, right? Yeah. And also, I think you had about 100 more HP as well.
Yeah, I was full HP.
So what should you do right now?
Jump back to my team.
Honestly, just jump back to your team. Now, I wouldn't necessarily jump back this way because this is totally out in the open. You'd probably die. Maybe this is where you just kind of jump up here, walk over here, get healing, set up your next engage. It sucks, but here's the thing with Winston. Winston is the tank that has arguably, maybe Junker Queen's a close second, but the highest spike of value when you have the things in the bottom right. There is not in fact, there might not even be a hero in the game up there with maybe Bastion that is as strong when you have that bubble and that jump. You are the best tank in the game. But when you don't, you're the worst tank in the game. So sometimes you just have to go like, okay, that cycle, I forced CDs, I didn't quite get what I wanted, but that was a huge opportunity for my team. They didn't get it, it's okay, rinse and try again. But don't try and force things here, because this is, to be honest with you, how you're going to die 40, 50, 60% of the time. And now you definitely should get out. And then instead of setting up your next gauge properly, this is brain off.
Yeah.
There's no pressure here. There's no space here. You're not even full HP. You're just throwing resources to the enemy team and hoping that your DPS get a pick. Don't do that. You need to, I hate using this word, but I'm going to use it in this instance. You need to carry. And you need to carry by doing your job to the best of your ability. This is lazy. So, again, coaching yourself here, because you seem like a pretty smart guy, how should you set up your next engage? You have your jump, you have your bubble. You're not quite full HP yet, but how do you set up your next engage?
Jump up left or right and just use some,
which one's better?
Right clicks.
Which one's better? Left or right?
Right side. Left
Why?
is too exposed.
See, you know exactly what you're talking about. Exactly. Get healed. Jump here. 3, 2, 1. You walk out here with a right click. You zap and then you go. You might zap and then jump deep. You might zap and then just drop on the Moira. You might engage with a jump on the Mercy Sojourn directly. I think there's a lot of upsides and downsides to either choice. But this is terrible.
Yeah.
It's just, you are not a threat to an enemy tank, almost ever. Even with the armor changes. The armor changes, obviously Junker Queen doesn't have armor, but the armor changes were more of like, if for whatever reason you accidentally end up shooting a tank, you don't feel so bad. But it should never be something that you pursue.
Yeah, you're not really doing this sometimes.
Right. Right. Even here, like, okay, so now that she's naded, but here, you have bubble. You're already on the squishies right now. Please do not turn your back on the Reaper. You need to be looking the Reaper in the eye. Bubble him, look at him. If you're on a Reaper, you better be looking at him, right? Because you need to be able to bubble dance that guy. And she, oh my gosh, she almost didn't even die. That feels terrible.
Yeah.
But this Sojourn and this Mercy have been like falling asleep in the back line, right? Because the dive tank has not been diving them. Yes! Thank you. Perfect. Stay on that Moira. There's the fade. Chase the Moira. Do not look at this queen. Find the next target, right? Okay, there's Moira again. I know they're Valking and you're like, it's pointless, right? But at least force cooldowns. Force the orb. Get the orb. Make sure that this Mercy stays on healing game because you see what she's doing right now? She's damage boosting. Why is she allowed to damage boost?
Yeah, makes sense.
Because you're not doing any reasonable damage. If you damage the Moira, she's gonna have to heal the Moira. And so if she has to heal the Moira, you die slower. And so you stay here for longer, right? Meanwhile, you're doing a great job, by the way, isolating this Reaper. This Reaper should probably die. You should have stayed there longer. I'm not gonna lie with you. As long as your team's engaged, and they are engaged, you had Primal. You should have stayed. So why did you disengage?
I don't know.
Okay, that's a good answer. Because sometimes, you know what? You do stupid things. Everybody does them. Don't worry about it. If it's really like, I don't know, then okay, that's fine. Go for that Mercy Sojourn.
Yeah.
Stop playing patty cake with... Yeah, you're playing patty cake with a tank, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like, let's be honest, you're not going to kill anything with Valk. It's not going to happen, right? It's not even like, oh, my primal mechanics are bad. No, it's just, it's the game, you know? But I want to force slide. I want to maybe I can work together with my soldier and kill this Moira and force Fade or force Orb, right? Maybe I'll isolate the Jungle Queen because I'm forcing everyone to turn around on me, right? You got to start thinking about like play like you're playing deathmatch and chase kills. And in the process of doing that, you will force resources and force cooldowns, right?
Yeah.
But you never think about forcing resources as like, I'm going to force resources. You think that you're going to get the kill, which is why you don't focus tank, because you'll never kill tank. But if you go for squishies and backline, they have to use cooldowns, otherwise they die. Go, 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 go. Yes, 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 yes. Kill, 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 kill. That was good. That was good. You see that? That was brilliant. On the squishy, on the Sojourn, on the Reaper, healing orb, Sojourn turns around. You're on every look at this. 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 This is actually a perfect screenshot of perfect Winston gameplay. Look at, do you see what you see?
Yeah.
Everybody turned around and what's in the background?
Queen's dying.
Right? That's Winston. Beautiful job. And not only that, but you actually did legitimate damage. You forced a lot of resources, right? I mean, there's a real chance here that Sojourn dies too because she actually turned her back on your Cassidy. So your Cassidy almost killed her. So it was good. Set up, set up, set up. You right? You have a little bit of HP. You're about to get bubble. Where should you go?
Jump straight up.
Yep.
Oh.
To here?
Yeah, next to the cooler.
I think there's an even better spot when it comes to cover. You see it?
Oh yeah, right next to the door, the hallway, the straight ahead.
Right. Up here? You see this? Maybe this isn't what you meant, but I'm going to spoon feed it to you. Right? This is beautiful. Why is this beautiful?
A lot of cover, and you can just
drop
zap
on
all
them.
of them.
Yeah, you could even drop on them without having to use your jump, right? But yeah, you could also zap all of them from top. Yeah. When you're looking for an engage with Winston, you're looking for a target that is good for you. A Mercy, a Moira, a Sojourn, an Ana, anything that there's a threat of a kill. You're looking for your bubble, and you're looking to time it when your team can do something. And if you jump up top there, and then you drop on this Mercy, do you see what your team can shoot right now? Reaper.
Reaper.
They could push up and shoot the Sojourn. You isolate people is what you do. And you do it well. The problem with what you do here is that while you are on a squishy, because all the squishies are dead, you were not sneaky with it. You weren't sneaky with it. You took too much damage in the open. You didn't get to go for necessarily the target that you wanted to, although Moira's not bad. So while this is fine, it's not perfect.
Sometimes I just do this to like contest payload. Is that wrong on Winston?
It's not always wrong. Contest payload when payload needs contesting. But does payload need contesting right now?
No, nope.
That sure doesn't, right? This is one fight territory, right? If they win this fight, they're going to cap anyway, so who cares?
Yeah.
Go for the best engage possible. Pretty decent jump here. Pretty decent jump. And it's a safe jump, too, because you're not going to get shot for this jump. You really leave your bubble. Zap, 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 zap. Bam! A little bit of landing damage. Love the right click here. That's another great benefit of right click. Anywhere time you can't. Stay on her. Chase her with jump. Ah!
Yeah, kind of messed up my.
But you know what? I can live with that. You choked, but you made good decisions. Everything was perfect. You obviously the initial engage was not perfect, but then you jumped on the Mercy, you got landing damage, you zap, you didn't use your jump, you waited her for the GA out, you hit the right click, you chased her, you messed it up. You know what? I can live with that. Because you know, even if you mess it up mechanically, it's still a good play. And look at that, she died anyway. And notice, we have not even seen the Junker Queen in a long time.
Yeah.
Part of it, mostly because she's been dead. But also, you know what? Fights feel good with Winston when you're playing with squishies. Even Reapers, right? Even Reapers, even Moiras, right? People talk about like Reaper Moiras or Winston counter. It's not. It's not. It's annoying to play into Reaper. But Reaper, you can go ahead.
Not really. Kind of depends on the map sometimes. If like there's a lot of high ground, he can just waste the entire game trying to chase me.
Yep. If you can avoid him, it's not a problem. Or if you can force his fade and so on, right? And Moira is really not a Winston counter at all, because while it's hard to kill her, she also does 0 damage to you. So like look at a Zenyatta, right? You can kill a Zenyatta pretty easily, but he can also ruin your day if you make a mistake. If you take too much poke, Moira, you don't give a rip about Moira. What's she gonna do? Right click me, right? So Moira's calm. Now, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? What do you think about your setup? What do you think about your mechanics? What do you think about your bubble placement? What do you think about your target priority? What do you think about your timing? Coach yourself.
Queen's already, front, like almost engaging my team. So this is a good jump.
It's a good engage. Good timing, right? This Queen is about to get destroyed, right? Because she's totally isolated. Okay. What about your, do you see any details that could be better or details that are good right now?
I could be closer.
Sure. Maybe drop a little bit closer, right? You still have your jump. I'm going to go one step further. You should have dropped behind for sneak factor, either to isolate the soldier and kill him because he will die if he doesn't get help, or to actually make people turn around, right? Just the fact of making them turn the camera is annoying, right?
Yeah.
Last detail I'd say here is I wish you were full ammo. So you were throwing some right clicks here, which is fine, because you notice that your supports can see you. You see that? Look at that, right? It's good.
Yeah.
You actually made her drop. But I wish that you had reloaded before going into here instead of throwing it at a 5 HP right click at a Junker Queen, right? But you know what? For most of our purposes in this review, this is a good engage. This is a B+ engage. And look at the kill feed.
Yeah.
That's you. And not only good in terms of, the Junker Queen died, but look at your ult charge, right? It's not a ton of ult charge, but it's a decent amount. That's 15% ult charge, right? Love to see it. And that was what we call a soft engage. You didn't even commit jump. Great job. Really, really nice engage. And that started with a good setup, right?
Yeah.
That's why the biggest counter to a Winston is a bad map. Because if you can't set up because there's no high ground, the character feels terrible. Again, beautiful engage. Now, you actually jumped maybe a little early before you had your bubble, but you're like, I think I can go. What do you think about the mechanics of this jump? Coach yourself. We talked about it in the practice range for about 6 years, right? So,
yeah. I jumped on top of him, so that's
What about your right click? You hit the right click.
Yeah.
Then you jumped. If you had charged a right click here, you would have released it here, but you may not have been able to left click in time.
Mm-hmm.
You see that? See how you're already left clicking? So right here, you're already doing damage to him. Actually, I think it's okay. I think maybe you could have released charged a right click before you released a little bit longer, like get extra 5-10 damage, right?
Yeah.
But you got left click. You landed directly on his head. You kind of lost him, which is bad. But it's all right. Isolated target. Can my team help me? Yes, they can. Even if they can't help me here, they can make sure that anybody that tries to stop me gets shot in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what happens. The enemy team actually doesn't even walk forward. They're too scared. The Moira actually uses fade just to get to him, and he dies. Indecisive. You didn't know what to do. You're like, do I stay? Do I go? That's okay.
Yeah.
You made the right decision. It's all right. Oh, Zarya. even better. Zarya's terrible versus Winston, I think. Well, actually not terrible, but I think that he's very easy to isolate. Even bubbles peeling is like, if she uses bubbles to peel you, you don't even feed any charge because you do no damage. So it's terrible.
Yeah. And she can't really contest me either on this map.
Mm-hmm. No. Wait. Right? Just do nothing. That's the biggest challenge with Winston is sometimes you just do nothing. I know you have bubble, but the enemy team isn't taking action. So if you wanted to do something, maybe you could go around for a fish for a backline kill here. That would still be feeding because you're doing it by yourself. But look at your team. Do nothing. Because the problem now is they're going to do what's called the rubber band effect, where they're going to use one cooldown, maybe. I'm surprised this already even used bubble. One cooldown, maybe. Then they force your cooldowns. And then now what can the enemy team do for free?
Walk forward.
Walk forward. Now you have Primal, but I hate to use a Primal, what you should have had for a cooldown. You should have just had your bubble here. You should have just had your bubble and ready to go whenever you want to. Instead, they can walk forward here, and they've used what? Nothing. They just used a single bubble, and they just shot you in the face with mouse 1. And then they walk forward for free. That's on you. You got to time these things with your team. And then you also got to make sure that the other problem is like, don't do it on a Zarya. If you're going to go for something cheeky, at least go for it on a squishy.
Sometimes I just hear awkward going damage. And,
it's about the quality of that damage.
Yeah.
Right? It's about that quality of that damage. Heroes like Winston have very clear on and off switches, right? And there are times when you just need to do nothing instead of demand resources. And another thing too, you're going to engage here. We're committing, right? What side should you drop on?
Behind.
You need these is what these are the things that you need. These are the things that you need. If you want Zarya to die, kill these guys or zone these guys off. And if these guys are totally inaccessible, like you can't get to them, then yeah, sure, go for the tank. That's going to happen sometimes, right? But that's not the case here. I mean, I appreciate that you do go for the squishies, but it's not always, but it's too frequently starting with that tank.
Yeah.
Actually, pretty good discipline with a bubble as well. You're like, man, I'm not even taking any serious damage here. So that was good. That was good discipline with the bubble there. Okay. Just need to live here. I think maybe go for that Moira. Yep. That was good. Nice. Retake top. Nice. Ease off. Do it. Ah, too conservative. Too conservative. Land on her face. I don't even care if she slides. Force her slide. Land on her face. Okay, now we just die. Wait, no? Maybe? You should have just let him die. To be honest with you, either you should have died yourself or you should have just let him die and get out alive because now both of you guys are going to die. Okay. Let's look at a few more here. Wait, what happened to my screen here? Okay, there we go. Okay, let's see here. So this is the question you had earlier. Do I contest cart? Yes. Sorry. But at the very least, stop shooting the Zarya. She's right there. Drop your bubble here. Shoot her. You get what I'm saying? Find that Kiriko. Find that Kiriko. Find the Kiriko. Not her. Not her. Not her. Not her. Find the Kiriko. You get what I'm saying? She's living. She's living. She's living. She lived because you shot her, not the Kiriko. Do you see that?
Oh yeah, yeah. My bad. Yeah.
Yeah. No worries. No worries. No worries. No worries. Nice. Right click have been actually okay. Not too shabby. Again. So maybe it's not so much the mechanical capability. Maybe this was just a good game for you, but maybe it's not the mechanical capability, but like knowing how to utilize the mechanics, you know?
It was worse on attack, second point.
Gotcha. Well, it happens. Rinse and right click is deceivingly difficult sometimes to land. Yeah. Now, you really better avoid the tank trade now. Yes, get her. Get her. And see, the best part about that is you're like, oh no, I wasted it. But guess what? You didn't have to use bubble. So guess what? You could keep going. You could sneak up, go for something back here. Let's go. No! What was it? What was it? No! I'm sorry. I apologize. On behalf of the entire support community, they should be ashamed of themselves. Well, yeah, this is not where you want to be. But you know what's actually funny? You actually tried to do the right thing, And Life Fever says no. Oh, dear. All right, well. Good. Get her out. Again, no bubble needed, right? Beautiful. Don't. Careful.
Yeah. Yep.
Good. Beautiful. Well-timed engage, too. See your backline? I don't know if you did this on purpose, but really well-timed. This hog could really just die. Or that. Because he's going to slap. Because this is the problem with Roadhog, right? Winston jumps backline. Oh, I destroy Winston, right? Uh-oh. Yeah. What's behind me? Uh-oh. Look what I'm not looking at right now. You see that?
Yeah.
That's Winston effect right there. That's such a good engage. You should be so proud of that. That was perfectly set up. Perfectly timed. Excellent job. Okay, this is insane. It's actually kind of funny. It's like good thinking, you know, because you got some high ground back here, but like most teams don't stuff here, so maybe it'll work. Maybe it's just too close, you know. Like I think like you need to let them come out of spawn a little bit more, because if they could shoot you while the complete safety, it's not great. Look at that. They mirrored monkey. Let's go. That's the alpha move there. You made a mirror monkey. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying. I was thinking I can waste some more time. I
mean, it's not. Let's put it this way. This is not as stupid as this. This is just a little bit cheeky. I respect it, and you're using cover well. And look at that. Look at this jackass. He jumped you and used bubble. Wasted a little bit of time. You get out for free. You found the squishy. You zap him a little bit. You get slept early. That's great. He uses bubble early. That's also great. Where are your supports? I probably would have backed off to find my supports, and certainly would have at least tried to stuff the choke. Stop shooting the monkey here. Stay on the squishies, right? Get these guys on the rotation, right?
Yeah.
Now we go with the Primal. Find one target and lock it down. It's the same thing as Genji Blade. Just find one target, you know? I think it's very easy in Primal, especially like compared to other ultimates, just get like, you know, don't do that. It's actually you don't want to be raged in Primal. You want to be very calm and collected. Focus on one target. If you want to practice your mechanics, do so in a workshop code, do so in game. But all your mechanical practice goes out the window if you just turn into a raging maniac.
Yeah.
I would have kept going here. I think you have the HP for it. You have like 2 seconds left. Just go harass backline, force one more CD. Good. Stay in the squishies. Yep. You need to bubble dance better. So here, obviously it's a good sleep dart. It's a little bit unfortunate. Here, you need to quickly lean to the external, to the perimeter, right? So you're a little bit slow. And then also here, you needed to stay on the perimeter so that you can go back in. You see that you backed out so far so that when you try to bubble dance back in, you're too slow to do so. I mean, you had jump there. You just didn't quite get it in time. Okay. Don't need to be direct. Be sneaky. There's no rush. Where should you jump?
Up top.
Up top. Get up here, right? Get up here. Oh, look, there's a Sojourner on off angle. Perfect. Kill her, right? If she's not here.
On the bridge.
Boo, right? You see how much easier? Like this is freaking like horror movie for backline, right? This is a lot easier to deal with because you are going for squishies, right? Like nice job, right? That's good. But setup. If you have time to set up, it saves you your jump crucially. But more importantly, you get the angle, you get the element of surprise, the kill threat. And then if you drop here, Kiriko freaks TPs, you chase her and you kill her. And then also, while setting up, you will indirectly often find the most dangerous member of the enemy team at the same time. Because if I'm coaching the Sojourn player, I'm going to go tell the Sojourn player to go set up on an off angle. And while you're setting up on an off angle yourself, this is the person that needs to be killed.
Yeah.
Something to consider. When you take a good position and you run into people that are also taking good positions, then that's how you protect your team. Good tanking. Bad jump, but good tanking. Get him. Or get her. Close. Good. I mean, that literally just comes down to slightly better mechanics. Let me break it down for you. All right? So setup, first thing, right? First thing, setup needs to be better. That way you protect your Sojourn. Next thing, why are you looking away from the squishies and looking at the Winston? You missed cleave on that soldier for a full second. You see that?
Yeah.
So stay on those squishies. Stay on those squishies. And even here with your HP, I don't think I back up here. I think I stay zapping. I think I stay in their face zapping. So you're backing up here. You don't need to back up. You have your jump. If you jump, you have bubble HP. Zap 3 squishies. Stay in there, right? Mm-hmm. Next thing here, this jump, is good, but just a little too far. So you don't quite get the soldier exactly. Lose a soldier a little bit, but we're on the squishies. That's fine. Slept. Unfortunate. And this is where things get a little bit ugly. Reload here, then jump, and land on the Ana, not off to the side of the Ana. Because, I mean, it's so close. Because you could look at that and you can actually go, if I had landed directly on the Ana, I actually probably don't even need to use bubble.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And then here, you're able to actually jump in bubble, and you're going to be able to live for at least another 3 seconds. There's even a chance of a primal rage here. So I know we're digging deep in the dirt here, but I want you to consider these things because, unlike so many other characters, these micro mechanics apply every single time you play this character, right?
Yeah, that helps because I was thinking to myself that, me diving at all after getting nanoed was the reason we lost third point. But
what do you mean?
Like when I get nanoed, I dove in. It was actually the second jump that was that I messed up.
Yes. No, it was fine. And honestly, the biggest mistake that you made was you didn't set up. Because if you want to look at this from like a macro perspective, Overwatch League coach, whatever, this is where you guys lost this fight. Even though I don't even think she gets a kill here. This is where you guys lose this fight. Panic in the streets. Panic in the streets. She's actually low. She just wasted her slide. Panic in the streets. Panic in the streets. Panic in the streets. Panic in the streets. Everybody's freaking out. Everybody in your team is freaking out from the Sojourn. She should be dead.
Yeah.
And not only should she be dead, but then you should be killing backline 25% more effectively because you engage from a good off angle. Because your team never really recovers from this. They actually never deal with the Sojourn. Look at how poorly positioned they are. You see this? Why are they positioned here? Because of this. And so then guess what they die to?
The Winston.
Well, not even the Winston, but the Visor. Because look at where they are. You see that?
Yeah.
So you could follow the trail. A better Winston either kills the Sojourn or makes her go back to her team and then goes for the backline. Then your backline's better positioned, doesn't die to Visor, and gets better value out of their nano, and gets better value out of their high noon, and lives long enough to build Primal, and lives long enough to build a Visor. Fights won. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's actually make some notes for things to practice. I know we've talked about a lot, but I think that you had a pretty good understanding of like Winston, so it felt like I could go a little bit more in detail because even though you're plat, you're only, I would say, slightly above average at the game. You understand things, I think, better than you're able to execute on, right? Welcome to the club, right? So let's take some notes. Winston, what do you need to practice?
My engages.
Okay. What about your engages specifically?
The timing.
Timing? What about the timing?
Make sure that the tank is actually already starting an engage with my team, so
right,
I can actually cause a distraction,
right,
on her team, on the enemy team. Yeah.
Yep. There it is. Okay. What else? What about target priority or your setup phase? I think kind of both kind of go hand in hand, right?
Mm-hmm. I guess squishies are supports and squishies. I don't feel like I'm being very descriptive right now.
But you don't need to be, right? Okay. That's correct, right? Go for the squishies whenever you can. Prioritize squishies. It ain't that deep, right? Now, obviously, you and I both know that some squishies are more attractive than others, but then you also have to factor in like what squishies can I actually set up for and so on. So then prioritize on squishies. So step 3, set up. Finish the sentence or sentences.
Set up before the fight.
Before the fight? On high ground?
On high ground. Oh,
with cover, with the intention going for squishies. And this is the hardest part of Winston right there. Next to the mechanics to a lesser extent. But It's you know who you should be going for, right? Squishies, right? And you know when you should be going for it. But then there's another question you have to ask yourself: how? How do I do that? Where do I do that? Right? And if it makes you feel any better, while that's a very complicated question and answer and all that kind of shenanigans, right? You showed yourself what 4, 5, 6 times whenever I asked, where should you set up? Nailed it. Do that in game. Now, it's a lot harder in game because there's a lot more things going on and you don't have as much time, but that's what you need to practice. You know what you need to be going for. You know when you need to be going for it. So where do you need to be? How do you do the setup? And if you can ask yourself that question, you're not going to win a bunch of games immediately, but you'll be building the habits that you need to rank up.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. And then in terms of mechanics, what needs to be practiced? We talked about a lot of the mechanics. So I want you to pick 1 or 2 that you think are the most important.
The right click combo.
Right click combo. Right click right before jump to make sure you zap on landing. What else?
And being calm during juggling and focusing.
Calm during primal. Great. That's it. So there it is. You got a whole bunch of things to work on. You could probably go back and watch the VOD and pull up a few more details, but I think these are the most important ones, to be honest with you.
Okay.
So I think you nailed it. So now for you, because so much of this is like so in-depth and so complicated, all I really want you to do is just to practice these one at a time. If you go into a ranked game or a day of ranked games or a week of ranked and all you focus on is staying calm during primal, that's fine. It's good practice. If all you focus on is timing with your team or practicing thinking about setting up or making sure that you're staying on the squishies or practicing that right click, it's good. There's a lot to practice with Winston. He's one of the most complicated heroes in the game. So you can't rush the process. Just enjoy it. You know?
All right.
Enjoy it. And then if you have any questions, you could message me anytime. Speaking of which, do you have any questions?
No.
All right, man. Well,